It's like every single time I open Instagram, Reddit, Twitter, now known as X, there's always some idiot talking about how Homelander would easily just destroy Superman. And what's their argument? I'm glad you asked. They say something very, very stupid. They say Homelander would beat Superman for the simple fact is that Homelander is evil and Superman's a good guy. And right then and there, that's how I know they never picked up a comic book. That sounds completely stupid. So who the hell is Superman fighting? Heroes? No, he's fighting villains. He's fighting very, very evil people. So Homelander being evil won't matter that much. What really matters in a debate between characters like this is feats. Superman's feats are completely on a whole nother level when you compare them to Homelander's. For example, oh my goodness, look, Homelander can throw a jet. And then we have Superman. Literally as a teenager, he could throw the mass of multiple supernovas billions of light years away easily. Even as a child, Superman can literally see galaxies and other star systems with his vision, giving him faster than light perceptions. If I'm being completely honest, this is not even a fight for Superman. Superman literally would tear Homelander apart and he would do it effortlessly. This is not a fight. This is very, very one-sided. But you know what? I'm going to keep going deep because I think Homelander fans are stupid. But let's be honest, comic book versus comic book isn't really fair. So let's use live action versus live action. One thing you will constantly always see a comparison is the nuke scene. In the very first season, Madeline Stillwell said that they already tested every possible weapon on Homelander. So automatically we assume that means a nuclear weapon because that's just common sense to think about. And they love to compare when Superman was incapacitated during his fight with Doomsday. And they use this as evidence to say that Homelander would beat Superman, Henry Cavill's version. But here's the biggest problem with using that because it's taken out of context. Superman was already weakened by kryptonite during this moment. Now, let's take a step back. What if I told you Batman had a weapon that was more powerful than a nuke that actually hit Superman in Doomsday? Yeah, it was his sonic emitter. It had the output of 300 decibels. That is more powerful than a nuclear bomb. Superman got completely bombarded with this attack, and it already has been calculated to be at least mountain level because of the prolonged attack. Now, this can be taken with a grain of salt, but Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson did say that both Black Adam and Superman are capable at moving at light speed. Now, when it comes to speed for Homelander, one thing that we do know is that he claimed that by the age of 7, he was already breaking the sound barrier. And obviously, as an adult, he should be much, much faster. So far, there is nothing to suggest that he can move at light speed. So at bare minimum, we should at least be able to say Homelander should be hypersonic. Now, I know people are going to have problems when The Rock had said Black Adam and Superman are both capable at moving at light speed. But hey, just for argument's sake, we're going to ignore that and just pretend Superman can't. During Superman's fight with General Zod, they both were creating shockwaves with each of their punches. Now, that could be a strong indicator that they were at least fighting at the speed of sound. And what makes this really impressive for Superman is that he's still a novice when it comes to using his powers, and yet he's fighting someone like General Zod, who literally is a general of the military, and he also said that he was a trained fighter. So this is a very, very good feats for Superman. We also see that General Zod is able to cut a skyscraper in half. So basically that would put his heat vision, like generating enough energy between 100 megawatts to 500 megawatts. That's comparable to a small nuclear reactor. Another thing that was very impressive about their fight is that neither Superman or General Zod showed any exhaustion. They were not tired and they kept fighting. There were no huffing and puffing. These guys fought from space back to Metropolis, destroying multiple buildings, and not one of them showed any signs of exhaustion. Despite the fact they were hitting each other constantly over and over again, there's no bruises on these guys. Kryptonians are just built different. Also, at the beginning of Man of Steel, we see that Krypton's moon is destroyed. Zack Snyder said that this was caused by another version of Doomsday fighting Steppenwolf, and we know what happened when Superman fought Steppenwolf. Superman pretty much bodied him. Now, of course, the moon isn't 100% destroyed, so this at bare minimum should be multi-continental level. Now, the reason why I bring that up is because a lot of people like to downplay the Superman shifting a tectonic plate. So this is pretty consistent with his power levels. Even in the Superman Man of Steel comic book, it was stated by Lex Luthor that Superman has dealt with earthquakes before, so once again, that makes it consistent. Now to jump over to Homelander, a lot of people will use that one moment when he was fighting Soldier Boy, and Soldier Boy managed to dodge his heat vision, and people will use this to say that every character in The Boys is light speed or has faster than light reactions, and that simply isn't true. First off, Homelander's eyes start glowing before he shoots it. It wasn't like instant. It wasn't like a light speed attack. So Soldier Boy had time to react before he was able to dodge. The truth is, Homelander, he just doesn't have anything that's very interesting or powerful in the show. He truly is the definition of a big fish in a small pond. Now, I know that the comic and the TV show is a little bit different, but this one change was kind of stupid to me. For example, Homelander in the comic is a lot stronger because he has the biggest dose of Compound V. Okay, the only other person who has a bigger dose in him is Black Noir, because if you know from the comics, Black Noir is actually a Homelander clone. But anyway, I don't like it that people like Huey can take a temporary dose and somehow they can push Homelanders a little bit, and that just really messes with the power levels in the show, because it should be done off of doses, how big the dose is, but they didn't take that route in the show, and this once again makes Homelander look even more fodder. And that's kind of what made Homelander special, because Homelander can take a bigger dose. Most people can't. They would literally die, so they made him special. Now, when it comes to fighting, Homelander isn't as bad as people think he is. He just relies a lot on his strength and his heat vision because, I mean, why would he not? He pretty much did do a good job when he was fighting Butcher and Soldier Boy, and he nearly killed both of them. In a fair one-on-one fight, Soldier Boy, Butcher would have got completely destroyed, and he pretty much had the upper hand. But when you compare these characters from characters like from the DC universe, none of them are really that strong. I know I can't be the only one who was pretty much disappointed in the fact that this little fight they had didn't destroy more. I mean, the house was still intact after this. But then again, an argument could be made because of the budget. So when you compare these two characters, Superman and Homelander, Homelander should at least be like city level, and Superman should be able to scale at least multi-continental. So it really doesn't matter how you try to spin it. This is not a fair matchup. Superman would completely just destroy Homelander. Well, we also do know that The Boys season 5, which is the final season, is done filming now. So maybe he will do something impressive finally. But until then, DCEU Superman completely slaps him silly. DCEU Superman's feats are well above anything Homelander has shown us. But yeah, that's it for me. Let me know if you want me to do more videos like this. My next video, I'm thinking about doing one about why people like downplay Superman and why they probably just don't understand his character in the DC universe. If you made it all the way to the end of the video, do me a favor and comment down below Superman solos, and be sure to tell me what you want to see next time. I'm also very, very close to 5,000 subscribers, so I would really appreciate it if you were to subscribe. All right, that's it for me. Signing off. Until next time.